I don't know if you could on YouTube, but I got my imaginary blunt because episode 9 was the most trifling episode. And that is saying a lot considering I think it was episode 5 really pushed it. Really pushed it. What's episode 6? Hey guys, it's Yarnling Cosplay, and I'm back with another Stitch and Bitch Sunday video for American Horror Story 1984, episodes 7, 8, and 9. But first, if you are new here, howdy. How y'all doing? My name is Yarnling Cosplay, and this is my Stitch and Bitch series where I sit down and tell you guys about terrible shows that I like to watch while I crochet. Currently, we're finishing up American Horror Story 1984, which is the worst season they have ever done, and I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do the last 3 episodes because I didn't want to dedicate one video to one episode, but then I didn't want to like do all 3 episodes in one video. And then I finally sat down and watched it, and I was like, bitch, we doing all 3 in one video because we ain't doing this again. This is the last one. This is all the time to get out of me. But if you're a returning viewer, thank you guys so much for supporting me. And also, like, howdy, all y'all new folks. I know I've been like pushing like on my Instagram and Twitter, and I'm just like, hey guys, I really want to get to 200 followers by February 1st because I just want to. And you guys are like, all right, bet. So I think right now we're currently at 149. We might be at 150. Like, I really hope we get to 200 soon. If we don't, it's fine. If we do, yee! Also, I don't know why it took me forever to remember this, but like literally last year I asked you guys, what name do you want to be called? Because I'm Yarn Goddess and you guys are just something. And I made a poll on my Instagram like literally like last year, even like I think it was at the end of like 2019, and you guys basically gave me a bunch of different names and we all agreed on Yarnlings. I love the way it sounds so much. It's just a Yarnling. It's a Yarnling. 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 Subscribe and become a Yarnling. I'll be like, hey guys, how y'all doing? Welcome to the Yarnling gang. There's like a little like ding doom. It has like a little twang to it, you know. It's like a little like Yarnling gang. Like I'm over here, Yarnling gang. Today we're gonna be reviewing American Horror Story 1984. Episodes 7, 8, and 9. So buckle up, grab a snack. If you're crocheting with me, go grab your yarn, your hook, and everything. I already have my snack. I'm working on this scarf again. Like, I feel like I need to work on it because I started with it and I haven't like finished the scarf. But real quick, I usually put a disclaimer in the beginning of the video in text, but I'm going to say it right now before anyone like, you know, continues to watch. American Horror Story has blood, gore, sex scenes, just bloody gory sex scenes, all just kinds of different things. And if you can think of a trigger warning, just put it in here and like, you know, watch at your own risk. I don't show anything, but I do describe in detail. And this, I think episode 7 in particular, I feel like has a more triggering thing because there is a off-screen, semi-on-screen death that involves basically a minor. Watch at your own risk or don't watch at all. I appreciate you getting this far, okay? So like, dip if you gotta dip. Do what's right for you. But we about to get started, alright? Episode 7. Episode 7 starts off with another flashback to the camp all the way back until I think like 1948. And we get to see Kid Benji and his little brother Bobby and their mom at Camp Redwood. It's not called Camp Redwood at this time, it's called Camp Golden Star. And basically, their mom is played by her, like at this point, like episode 7, 8, and 9, just a shit ton of cameos because the writers just like, ooh, you know what we need to make this better? Other actors that were in better seasons. So like maybe their parents like, you know, bring up the stock value of this, and it doesn't at all. So basically she's working at the camp, and Benji, Kid Benji, is into watching or into reading comic books. And he's reading this comic book called True Vice or whatever. His mom looks at it. She's like, what are you reading? She's like, give me the book. This gobbledygook. Because it's like, you know, 1950. So like, you know, this gobbledygook is gonna rot your mind. Go outside and go play with some kids. If you stop being a nerd, you'll basically have friends. And I'm just like, ooh, Okay, toxic mom. Okay, shitty mom. Okay, so you're gonna be that kind of person. And she clearly has a favorite because she's like, hey, Bobby, like the little brother. And she's just like, you know what? Go take your brother out to the lake. Y'all have a good time. I'm over here slaving away so you guys have a good summer. So y'all better take advantage of these, like, you know, facilities and stuff. Because I'm not here cooking for all these kids for y'all to be sitting here at the table reading a book. And I'm just like, They made her so problematic so fast. So basically, Benji takes Bobby out to the lake, and Benji, being a plus size kid, you know, gets teased, and he's just like, you know what, Bobby, I don't want to go into the lake. They making fun of me in my shorts, let alone a bathing suit. I don't want to do it. But Bobby's like defiant. He's like, you know what, I'm going to go in the lake. And Benji decides, ooh, those 2 camp counselors over there are going off, including the lifeguard. Lifeguard's important here. He goes off with another girl, and Benji's like, I'm just gonna go see what they're doing, and like, you don't go in the lake or anything. This isn't like foreshadowing or anything. I just want you to know that I'm not gonna be here, so don't get into any kind of trouble, you know. But you know, Bobby, being a little defiant brother, goes into the lake anyway, and he dives under, and someone tries to take a boat out, and it's a little motorized boat. They don't see him. Benji comes back, everyone hears crying and screaming. They realize that Bobby did go into the lake and he ain't coming out. And, you know, the mom, instead of being like, you know, oh my God, take him to a hospital or let's see what happens and, like, I don't know, try to resuscitate him, she's just me like, Benji, this is your fault. All these camp counselors here, all y'all didn't look out for my little boy. No one looked out for my favorite son, and now I hate everyone. I gripe about this a lot because I really need writers to understand that when you have regular schmegular death with anyone, let's say 16 plus, I would say even 18 plus, that's an adult. But when you deal with death with anything under 16, y'all need to have more warnings outside of just violence. Y'all need to have more warnings outside of just, like, you know, gore or whatever. They don't show anything too much. They get his body out of the water, but like, you already see blood on like the sheet and everything. And just the whole idea, I was just like, this too much. So that scene basically ends with the mom basically losing her shit and going crazy and killing off everyone. And Benji realizing that his mom's killing everyone because she's like, y'all didn't protect my boy, y'all got him killed, now I'm gonna kill all of y'all. And, you know, Benji eventually just, like, you know, it's like, holy crap, my mom's batshit crazy. Fast forward to present day and everything. I think they have like a little like montage or whatever with Brooke and Donna, you know, getting over Donna poisoning her again. Like, I just find it funny how like every time Donna like meets up with Brooke, she's just like, ooh, drugs. She explains to her and everything that she saved her because she felt bad that she got her caught up in the whole camp thing, yada yada yada. And she's still suspicious. She's like, I don't know why you're trying to help me. This isn't gonna, like, you know, fix anything you did. And Donna's just like, I know, but like, let me help you go get a whole new life. It's whole convoluted montage. They besties now. Next. So Donna and Brooke basically end up as friends, and they go to an ice skating rink, or ice skating? Rollerblading rink. And they're just like, you know, 80s isn't dead, but it's dying off, blah, 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 blah. That's like a reoccurring thing in this whole season where the 80s are dying off. And I'm just like, okay, but like, there's so much, I don't understand why so much else happens and then you guys are just like, oh yeah, the 80s, they'll never die, while someone's like getting murdered. I don't know, it's whatever. And they have him pop up, yet another cameo, because they figure if they throw in 4 or 5 cameos in the last episodes of this season, the show will get better. It doesn't. So he pops up. I'm not even gonna give him a fucking name. He's just cameo number 2 at this point, okay? He's a killer. To no one's surprise. I think the only thing that annoys me about the fact that we find that he's a killer is that like Donna and Brooke are about to head back to the hotel because they gotta go get her paperwork and like make a whole new life for Brooke and all that, blah 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 blah. And the car doesn't work. And Brooke is like, listen, I know the car's not working, but we should not ask for help, okay? I'm supposed to be dead. I don't need to be, you know, getting any attention. And Mr. Killer and everything comes up, and he is just like, y'all can help fix your car. And for some reason, Brooke is the suspicious one, and Donna's like, yes, I'll accept your help. And he fixes the car way too fucking fast. So I'm already just like, suspicious, sus, whole thing sus. Like, Oh, I'm just so angry because after he fixes the car for them in a suspiciously short amount of time, Donna's like, you know what? I hear you were a hitchhiker. I heard that you asked us earlier for like a ride and everything. You know what? I changed my mind. You should come into the car with us and we'll give you a ride to wherever you gotta go. And I'm like, Donna, uh, that's not very black of you. In the 80s? Like, I can see why killers ran so rampant because y'all just be trusting anybody. But yeah, so basically he turns out to be a killer. He's like a hitchhiker killer, whatever. His story doesn't mean anything because, you know, he dies. He literally dies at the end of the season. Doesn't fucking matter. He's just there to make a quick paycheck and get out. So they're dealing with Mr. Cameo number 2. Flash forward over to Mr. Jingles, and he's basically back at Camp Redwood because he's trying to find Mr. Satan because Mr. Satan in the previous episode killed his wife. Yes. If you want to know how all that happens, go watch my other videos because I'm not explaining shit in this one. So he goes to Camp Redwood to find Mr. Satan. He actually runs into all the other ghosts that he's killed because, you know, Camp Redwood, no one actually leaves. They just stay in this really fucked up purgatory that they refuse to explain. And the ghosts are just like, hey, guess what? Margaret's gonna be here with the whole festival and everything, and when she gets here, we're gonna kill her. And like, you know, maybe the whole festival too. We don't know yet. We just angry and we're in purgatory and we don't know why. And you're here and you killed us and you're the reason why we're here. So you know what? We're gonna capture you. And I think at this point, like, Mr. Jingles decides to explain to them his little backstory and how Mr. Satan, like, you know, killed his wife. And how, you know, he's here to end Mr. Satan. And they also mention, the ghost mention that there's another ghost at the camp and they don't interact with her at all. Can you guess who it is? It's his mom. It's his mom. And they're all just like, we don't know what her deal is. She just kills camp counselors and everything. I don't know. She got some beef at some point. I don't know. But we are afraid of her. And Mr. Jingles, aka Benji, is just like, oh, that sounds like my mom. Let me go talk to her for y'all real quick. If y'all let me go, I'll handle her and everything. And also, side note, when he goes to see her, she tells him that she has seen him the entire time. So she's been at the camp. She watched everything go down. And she was just like, suffer. You didn't protect Bobby. I'm not going to protect you. I don't even like you. She even says that literally when they're talking and he's trying to get her to calm down and, like, you know, explain to him what is going on. She's just like, she dead ass tells him the wrong son died. And I was like, oh, wow. Wow. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And then what kills me about this is that as she says that, Benji says, I know. I agree. I concur. They cut back to Donna and Brooke, and cameo number 2 is basically explaining how, you know, hitchhikers been killing people on these roads and everything. Donna's getting suspicious. She's just like, oh, this might have been a bad idea. And I'm just like, bitch, you think? Like, this whole season is something but killers. Like, you're a killer too. Like, why are you trusting why are you trusting the white man in the 80s, Donna? Suspicious. But yeah, so basically, they escape him. They kick him out of the car. And like a cop and everything. Oh wait, I'm sorry. A cop pulls him over for some reason, which escapes me right now. But long story short, they kick him out of the car. The cop gets killed. Cameo number 2 takes the cop car, rams it to the back of their car. They're over here disoriented and can't figure out exactly what's going on. They just always need to escape cameo number 2. And they do end up like getting away from him, and because, you know, he's a hitchhiking killer or whatever, they cut off his thumbs in time to an electric pole and just leave him. You know, they just leave him. They decide to go back to the camp and everything because I think Brooke at this point is like, I can't move on with my life until I kill Margaret. I know Margaret's doing this whole festival. Donna's like, I can't let you go by yourself. So she goes with her too. And I'm like, bitch, listen, okay? You got out once. You, a black woman in a horror show, got out of Camp Redwood the first time. Why are you trying to risk your life the second time? I don't know. But they both go back to the camp. I think they get to the camp at some point. Obviously, camera number 2 follows them. He gets the woman to like stop and everything. He kills her later, and he now has a car that drives him up to the camp. It's whatever. That's just how he gets there. But the episode ends with Margaret and Trevor, because, you know, he's not dead, going to the camp. Trevor sees Montana and him smash, Margaret is pissed because she sees them and she's just like, oh my god, you skank, how dare you like go for ghost pussy and not my pussy, even though I hate you. Like, it's the whole thing's so toxic. Mr. Satan is at the camp and everything. He's already collecting on all the band members because apparently Kaja Gugu, if I'm saying that correctly? Yeah, Kaja Gugu is like there, and apparently they made a deal with Satan, and now Mr. Satan is like collecting, so he kills all of them. And I'm just like, wait, Kaja Gugu's like a real band. Hold on. Like, I had to like stop and do research for a second because I was like, wait a minute. Was there like stuff? Did he get? I had to do research. I don't have an answer about all that, but like that caught my attention for a second. Oh yeah, Benji basically is running around the camp and he's trying to figure out how he could kill Mr. Satan because he already knows that if he kills him, he's just going to be brought back by the power of Satan. So he's sitting down by the lake and his mom appears before him and she's just like, hey, guess what? I know that I hate you and this totally isn't a trap, but hear me out. If you kill yourself, you can't get killed by Mr. Satan, because if Mr. Satan kills you, you dead. But if you kill yourself here, this camp, purgatory ain't that bad. And I'm just like, Mom, first you're just, okay, so first you're like the wrong son died. Now you're telling him to kill himself because you want him. And guess what this does? He does it. He kills himself. He's like, the only way to protect my son is if I kill myself so Ramirez can't kill me, so I can't be killed by Ramirez, so I could be in purgatory for the rest of my ghostly life. So that's how episode 7 ends. Episode 8 is but yet another flashback because the storyline for this whole thing is just very all over the place. Like, they don't know where to put flashbacks. They just kind of go, you know what we need? A flashback. Surprise, Brooke gets recognized. And at first the little reporter like is like trying to play like dumb, and she's like, oh, you know, you look like the girl, blah 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 blah. You look just like her. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying you're her, but you look just like her. No, she definitely knows and everything, and she tells them later, and they decide that if they take her to the camp with her, she can't go to police and tell, you know, everyone that she's still alive. And also Brooke just figures that if they take her to the camp and everything, she could show her around and then just kill her there. Donna does not know this until Brooke attempts to do that, and Donna basically spends like part of the episode keeping Brooke from killing her because she's not a real killer. So Secretary also tells Margaret about Kaja Gugu basically getting murdered, and he doesn't know they get murdered. It's just the scene is very grotesque because, you know, it's American Horror Story, and she's so mean. So he is the secretary and he's so small, and she goes into the little van and she's just like, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna grab yourself a bag, you're gonna grab yourself a saw knife, you're gonna grab yourself a good pair of gloves, and you're gonna clean this up. And I'm just like, ma'am, he is 4'2", maybe. Okay, 4'3" in heels. How are you gonna take on all this? And he whines and bitches about it, but like he does eventually clean up the whole thing, and she's just irritated by all this. And I'm just like, ma'am, you were on a camp where ghosts are a lot and Satan, and like there's so much going on you don't know about. But yeah, sure, irritated is what you should be right now. We flash over to another scene with Ben basically trying to kill Mr. Satan. They have like a whole thing. I don't even know why they have a whole thing, but they do. And they tussle, they wrestle, they go onto the road, and guess who runs into Ben with his car that he stole? Cameo number 2. So yeah, he ends up killing Ben, you know, not really dead because he's already dead, but Mr. Satan doesn't know that. And basically he's just like, oh my god, Ramirez, you're like my #1 killer. Oh my god, I'm trying to get my numbers up like you. And I'm like, I hate this so fucking much. So basically cameo number 2 and Ramirez decide to work together to kill Ben, and Ramirez is just like, listen, you can help me take him out, but I have to kill him because he screwed me over, and like, you know, also I got him on board with Satan. If anyone else kills him, he'll just come back to life, and if I kill him, he'll be dead. It doesn't matter because, you know, he's already dead, but they don't know that. Jump forward to another scene. Montana and Trevor are smashing again. Like, I don't know why they decided to take this moment to explain. Like, Montana explains that, you know, ghosts and everything, they could technically orgasm, which I laughed at that point because I'm just like, my guy, hold on, wait a minute. So you're telling me that ghosts could feel fleeting pleasure? And before, when Ray and Brooke smashed and Brooke was like, I couldn't tell, or I don't know, I never had sex before, I'm a virgin, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, okay, so she definitely didn't come, because if a ghost could, okay, so if a ghost can come, Brooke definitely didn't. But basically, Trevor comes out of the cabin, and I think Margaret catches him again, and now Margaret is just like doubly pissed. She's like, you know what, that's it, I gotta kill him this time. I gotta make sure if I stab him, it gotta be straight through the heart, maybe through the dick too, I don't know. Basically, Trevor comes to the conclusion that he wants to be with Montana like forever, and that he's okay with himself to stay on the camp with her forever, because that makes fucking sense. I was just really willing to die. Like, everyone's just like, oh, the 80s are over, you know what I should do? Kill myself. I flash back to Mr. Satan, Cameo, and Ben, and I think Mr. Satan finally realizes that Ben is dead, because he's like, he got hit with a car, blah, blah, blah. Also, by the way, I found your body. So that tells me that you offed yourself. And you know what? Ramirez, Mr. Satan, is like low-key impressed, and he's also irritated because he's like, hey, I want to do that. How dare you do that yourself? Basically, you know, he's just mildly, it's just, I hate this really weird banter that they have, where they're always just like, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Damn, if I wasn't out trying to kill you, we could be besties. So basically, once he realizes that Ben is actually dead and everything, he's just like, hey, guess what? I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to keep killing you over and over again. Or, better yet, I'm just going to leave, because you can't go anywhere. You can't leave the campground. So I'm just going to go and offer your son real quick, and then come back and torture you here. You know, because Ben didn't think that through. Like, he really was like, oh, I'm just going to be here eternally so, and nowhere else. So, you know, Ben obviously is like freaked out now, because he's like, oh no, I'm going to keep him on this camp. And surprise, Margaret has a gun. Da da da. I said I was gonna make a sound. And she kills Ben, and she sees Mr. Satan, and she sees Cameo, and she's about to kill Cameo too. And Mr. Satan's like, no, he's with me. And Mr. Satan is like, yo, listen, okay, he with me, she cool, it's whatever. Mr. Cameo's confused. He's like, how do you two know each other? And she, grossly says that they had a close, intimate, homosexual relationship. And I'm like, she wasn't wrong, I just didn't want her to say it. Margaret has a plan that she doesn't explain, but like they cut the scene again over to, I think, Ben and the other ghosts, because obviously Ben didn't keep his promise. He didn't get rid of his mom. The other ghosts are pissed, and in the act of desperate gaslighting, he tells Montana that he has to be let go because Ramirez is gonna leave the camp and go kill his son. And Montana's like, he wouldn't do that, I know him. And he decides to gaslight her and basically say that you were the flame that caused him to start killing everything and anyone. It does not matter. Montana takes this personally, starts crying, and she's just like, I've created a monster. I let him hit it. And now look at what I did. It doesn't really work because the other ghost is kind of like let her run off, and Xavier being Xavier is like, you're the reason why I can't have acting. I'm like, Xavier, shut the fuck up. No one fucking cares about your acting career. Okay? Damn. Annoying ass. So basically, they take Ben and they gut him and they let him bleed out on the boat. And this is where Ben realizes that he's probably not going to be able to stop Mr. Satan. He's saying sorry to everyone, including his son. And he's just like, you know what? If anyone could hear me out here, specifically Bobby, because he's like, you know, Bobby died here, his ghost is probably here. If you could hear me, please just know that I am sorry. And Montana sees Ben out on the water, but more importantly, she sees a watery ghost figure jump up out of the water and drag Ben under. We're going to assume that watery ghost figure is Bobby, and now Benji's just, you know, he just gone and everything. That's all gone. The episode ends with, I think, Benji waking up and realizing that he's with Bobby and that his mom is making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and cutting off the crust because that's what he likes. And he realizes that the underwater area is like a safe haven that Bobby has made where they could be a family together. And I'm just like, how the fuck can y'all be a family together when your mom just told you that you were the wrong son died? You're like, I know. You over here just doing so much. The mom just told you this. Episode 9. I don't know if you could on YouTube, but I got my imaginary blunt because episode 9 was the most trifling episode, and that is saying a lot considering I think it was episode 5 really pushed it. What's episode 6? So we flash forward to 2019, and you know, I'm not even gonna try to make a surprise. Bobby's son is trying to figure out what happened to his dad, and I'm going to assume that because his son is like, you know, alive, that Mr. Satan did not kill him. That's what I'm getting from this. And his dumbass is gonna go to Camp Redwood and figure out what the fuck happened because the last time he saw his father was at the camp, and he's just like, I need answers. And I'm like, Bobby. Also, his name is Bobby. He named him after his dead brother. Bobby number 2, the living Bobby, not the ghost water, I don't know, murky ass looking one. The actual live Bobby goes to the camp to figure out what happened. He runs into Montana. He runs into like the majority of the ghosts basically. And Montana's just like, hey, let me tell you what happened. Oh my god, are you Bobby? I'm like, yes, you don't. Who else would be helping me over here? But you know, she's like, let me go tell you what happened here. And they have like this really weird scene because like obviously, you know, everyone who's still there is dead and the camp has been boarded off because they don't want anyone else there. And as Montana's like trying to explain to Bobby what happened, she sees in his backpack that he has like a gun, a knife, blah 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 blah. And she's like, ooh, kill me. You should kill Trevor too. We're immortal, or you know, we're ghosts, I guess. However that works. They have a little grotesque like, you know, scene and everything, and she's just like, boo, see? You can't kill us, or you can kill us, but like we're not gonna stay dead. And Bobby for some reason is just like, okay, all right, tell me what happened. He just is very accepting very fast. So they basically like, you know, do another flashback because this whole show is fucking flashbacks, and they're just like, on the day of the festival, this is what happened. Trevor decides that Margaret has gone too far and that, you know, she's just basically crazy and that he needs to stop the festival. So he basically starts telling everyone to start going home. His plan works. Margaret finds out. Margaret kills him. She shoots him in the chest because for some reason she just can't get his heart the first time. Her aim bad. Like, she got a gun, but she can't shoot for shit. And she also manages to shoot him in the pecker because, you know, why not? He is off property lines, and for some reason Brooke comes out just in time to see that Trevor is dying off property lines and that Montana's freaking out because she can't get to him and she can't do anything, that Trevor's gonna be dead forever. So Brooke for some reason decides to take Trevor and throw his body onto over property lines, and is basically like, look, see, I didn't hate you. I killed you, but I didn't hate you. I'm a good person. I hope you believe this now. Here, your dead lover who's going to fuck you forever. Anywho, that happens. I'm just gonna call them the ghost community because literally everyone who ever got killed in this camp come together and realize that they have to stop Mr. Satan, and they also have to stop Margaret because they're both terrible, god-awful people and they don't deserve to live or whatever. And they work together to basically kill Margaret and also keep Mr. Satan on property grounds. So first with Margaret, Brooke and Donna find her. They basically go, surprise bitch, and they try to kill her. Donna survives. Fortunately, she survives. Brooke gets shot, but Donna leaves Brooke for some reason. Like, I don't know why she did that, but like, I guess she just assumed that she was dead because she got shot in the gut, and she was like, oh, well, you know, no one's gonna check for a pulse. We just gonna leave. Oh, obviously Brooke doesn't die and everything. I think Ray comes in and saves her at the last minute, but Brooke doesn't tell Donna this. They just find out much later in the episode. So basically Margaret gets killed by all the ghosts, and they say that they like could kill her and that she's not going to like die immediately on the property grounds because they go out of their way to cut her up and then put her in a wood chipper over property lines. But I'm also just like, why are you risking her dying from blood loss on property lines? Fun fact, she does. She stays in the property grounds. She just stays away from all the other ghosts because she probably assumes that if they realize that she's still alive, or not really alive, if she's one of the ghosts, they'll probably, like, you know, internally kill her or whatever. Trevor kills Cameo number 2, and they make sure that he dies off property lines. They got that one right. Oh yeah, before Margaret dies, she kills her secretary. I was a little bit sad by that. The ghosts eventually capture Mr. Satan, and they just go, hey, guess what, you know, we can't let him leave and go kill a kid and everything, so we're gonna just sit here and torture him for forever and make sure he never leaves. They have another super grotesque cameo montage where every time he wakes up it's just a different torture, and everyone's like, oh shit, oh shit. Like, that's just it. And like, it's not even like that good. It's just them like all looking down and just like just blood up in their face. Like, if y'all can't even do gore right, why make a fucking show? And as Montana is telling Bobby all of this, I think at some point Birdie and Chet are supposed to, like, you know, be watching over Mr. Satan, because when he wakes up it's their turn to kill him next. And for some reason they made Birdie, like, they literally just brought her back just to be sexual with Chet, and I'm just like, ill. And it's not even like a ill, like a age difference thing. It's more of an ill because she's like, I know you go both ways. And I'm just like, why are y'all just randomly bi-folk? Like, why are y'all like this? No one asked. You could have just been like, hey, do you want to smash? Chet could have been like, sure, let's smash, but no. So basically, while they're trying to smash, Mr. Satan escapes, and then they're all like, ooh, Bobby, story time over. You gotta get your ass off campgrounds. And like, they get him off the camp and everything, and like, they run away, they capture him. As he's running off the campgrounds, he runs to Margaret. Margaret tries to kill him. This is where Ben pops up, and Ben's just like, hey, guess what? I'm your father. I know. And Bobby just immediately hugs him. And I'm just like, you haven't seen your... Like, he has no idea who you are, but he just assumes that because you killed Margaret that that's, you know, your daddy. It's fine. You're right. I'm just saying it would have been really awkward if you were wrong. But basically, Ben is like, go live your life. I'll stay here with Bobby number 1 and your grandma, and like, you know, it's whatever. Go live your life. That's basically it. And like, Margaret eventually, like, you know, gets back and she kills Ben, and then everyone's like, run, Bobby, run. But they can't do nothing right at this part. And I think at one point, grandma, aka toxic mom, and everything pops up, and she's like, oh, you look just like my Bobby. And she eventually ends up killing Margaret too, because she's like, get away from my grandbaby. And I'm just like, so this is a story about protecting Bobby? Y'all did all this to make it a story about family? I think some other shit happens. Yeah, Bobby runs into Donna because he's trying to figure out what happened, and Donna's like, I don't know if Brooke made it or not. Brooke is like, I made it, bitch. I didn't tell you though, but like, I made it. And everyone's like, oh, we both get to be the final girl. That's about it. And episode 9 ends on a very really weird, ghostly, sappy note where they see Bobby number 1, Ben, and Mom basically look at Bobby number 2 and be like, go live your life, go live your dreams. But yeah, that's American Horror Story 1984. I don't really have much else to say about it. It is garbage. It is hot shit in the dumpster can on a boat that's also on fire. Nothing makes any sense. I hate everything about this season, and I really hope that I think they're on season 10, is going to be better. I doubt it. If this is where they are, season 9, season 10, you either scrap all your writers or you just agree you're going to be a show people are going to start hate watching. If you guys like this episode of Stitch and Bitch, be sure to like the video. Be sure to, like, you know, subscribe, become a Yarnling. I know, I love that name so much. Check out my Patreon. That's where I go eat. That's where I go make money to eat and everything. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. If you have any suggestions or any videos or any shows you want me to watch, feel free. Please give me material to watch. Like, I need more garbage to watch, because there's something, I think it's a narcissist in me that really enjoys watching terrible shows and then complaining about it afterwards. Like, it brings me so much joy. Like, look at me. I'm glowing. I'm smiling, I'm glowing, I'm having a great time. Fuck this show, but like, my skin's so clear. Like, but if you guys like this video, be sure to like this video. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.